Sean Devlin, man. Hey, Sean Devlin, the Mortgage Juice Man, coming at you with the weekend's call to action. I should say it's a fantastic Friday because it's been a guideline week all week long. We'll be going over guidelines. I'm breaking it down with some of the most commonly asked questions that you loan officers have, hopefully giving you some juice on these guidelines so you guys know what to expect, what to do when, and what the guidelines are on the most commonly asked questions, from foreclosures to bankruptcies to collections to disputes. We still got a couple to go over. This week we went over primarily conventional and FHA. Had a couple of VA things in there. I think I'm going to dedicate a day next week, and I'm going to go over specifically VA guidelines. So here we go. Today, looking at FHA. FHA, just so you know, when you're looking at 30-day accounts on FHA, like a Discover card, if you can prove that you've been paying it off month in and month out for the last 12 months, you can absolutely omit that. Assuming they have the funds to do it and it doesn't affect cash at close, etc. But 30 days accounts on FHA is something that you can omit from the DTI. Just take that into consideration. All right. Collections and disputes on FHA. Lots of questions on this, and these are the guidelines written from the HUD. 4000.1, the handbook. All right, so check it out. If it's FHA loan and you have less than $2,000, whether it's a manual or not, you just run it, okay? If it's non-medical, $2,000 or less worth of collections, you don't necessarily need to pay them off. You just run the DU, okay? It's just like conventional. If it's more than $2,000 collectively in all of the collection accounts, you want to add them all up and use a 5% payment for each one of the collection accounts. Just include it in the DTI, call it a day. So, pretty self-explanatory when it comes to collections. When it becomes a manual with collections, if it is under $2,000 and it's manual, technically it's underwriter discretion whether they need to be paid. Rare, but could come into play, so you got to know that. All right, disputes. All right, so this is a big one. It downgrades a file when you have derogatory disputed accounts. So, there's a magic number to that. So, if it's $1,000 or less and 24 months old in a disputed account, you can ignore it. Okay? So that's the magic number. If it is 0, or if it's paid in full or resolved, the dispute in that account can be ignored. Okay? So these are the things you need to know. If it's more than $1,000 in disputed derogatory accounts, it gets downgraded to a manual. Doesn't matter if you have an approved eligible or not. If you got $1,000 or more in disputed derogatory accounts in the collection section of a credit report, you get downgraded. It is now manual. So you're going to have to follow the manually underwritten DTI buckets. I'm going to have a day where I go over that next week. So, if you have a non-borrowing spouse in a community property state, their derogatory collections do not count in this equation. Just an FYI. So check it out real quick. Sellers concessions, a last added bonus. For sellers concessions to be gone across the board, I'm going to break it down real quick. FHA 6%. 6% of the purchase price can be allocated as third-party contributions. On a VA loan, just to throw it in there, the max is 4%, ladies and gentlemen. When it comes to conventional, it's based on LTV. So, if the LTV is 90% LTV or higher, on an owner-occupied home, obviously, or from the perspective of a second home being 90%, it's 3%. If it is below the 90% LTV, it means owner-occupied or a second home can be as high as 6%. If the LTV is 75% or less on a conventional loan, can actually have seller's contributions as high as 9%. This is good stuff to know as you are structuring deals for the future and the purchase season to come. So, some good stuff. Look, if there's anything I can tell you to do for the weekend, call to action. It's to get down and dirty and look at some of these guidelines. Got to read them from time to time. Got to refresh your mind. Look for something that sticks out. If you have any I Got a Guide questions, I'm always here to help you. My name is Sean Devlin, the Mortgage Truth Man, wrapping up the Guideline week. Hopefully you guys had a great time watching all the guidelines we went over this week. As I always say, share, interact, like, repeat. As always, sell well.